But I think often we're with people in our workplaces, in our families, in our communities, who are hungry for things which aren't routine, just like we're gathering today. This is not a routine day. It's a special day. And that's why we're all, I think it's just going to be a huge day, actually, in Australia. People, and sometimes you are the one asked to supply just that. And you know, it's probably something to do with authority. The best sort of authority figure, I think, is one who leaves you feeling that they're not fully stretched to their limits. Who feels confident with a person like that? You know, authority needs to have that sense that there's energy left over to take you through that doesn't mean they're going to fall over at the first hurdle. And you have to tailor your style to precisely that. I think you've got to work out how you do flick that switch to vaudeville, take your own insecurities with you. I had a producer say to me once, something that I again pass on to young women, because I was in the middle of reporting Gulf War I, and we were getting a lot of mail, worried mail, and frankly a lot of mail that was pretty misogynistic. And he said to me, pull your personality back 10 to 15%. And you know, I could have been insulted, but I knew this man was on my side, and I thought it was the best advice, because 10 to 15% you can do. Somebody says pull your personality back 40%, you think, well, you know, get lost. You ask me to change myself, I'm me. But I just feel that that is a very clever little bit of advice. Our public conversation, I think, is still much more blokey and more reserved often than we women have allowed ourselves to be. And you know, sometimes you have to hide. Keating used to go from those amazing question times where he'd put everything on display, and I've been told by people sitting beside him, he'd then go away and hide just to gather himself. And sometimes you just use up your cup of energy, which is why it's all the more important to be yourself if you possibly can. Anything else is just too exhausting. And I must say, as I get older, I'm a bit surprised by how I don't want to be on all the time. I'm a very sociable person, but I've had less energy for that sociability that tries to charm everybody, tries to smile at everybody. And I'm still fascinated and interested in people, but I don't think I need to try to routinely seduce them, if you know what I mean. I just don't. It's a real shift. It's quite interesting. Anyway, look, what I said to you at the start, I really want to more or less end with. What I think is needed more than ever, and I think rural women may well nominate this as what makes them proud to be rural women, I don't know, I'm in your hands, is this question of nurturing. Not mentoring, I mean that's important, but nurturing. That quality that men and women can have, but I think we women consider it the glittering prize. That business of that frankly wonderful craft of observing closely what is necessary to encourage another to grow and thrive, and then trying to supply it, whether it's in the family, whether it's at work, with friends in the community. It's the skill. So my little checklist is do the best you can in your life, meet your deadline, do well enough hopefully to be invited back, and have a little bit of fun along the way. And for my last quote, which I heard just last week from the playwright Samuel Beckett, I think it's wonderful. It's such an inviting quote to apply to women of our time who might wonder from time to time whether it's all worth it. I think it is, and today's proof of that. But this is the way Beckett saw things. Try, fail, try again, fail better. Good luck to us all. Thanks. I look forward to your questions.
Thank you, Geraldine. That was terrific. I particularly like your comments about supporting others to be the best they can. I think that's something we women are very good at, and also stepping up to something new. I think that's a great challenge for us all. Now, this is an interactive webinar, and let's show people that we can deal with this technology, and perhaps there are some people there who'd like to ask Geraldine some questions or make a comment. You can do this in one of two ways. You can go to the chat box and type in a question, or you can raise your hand from the participants box. We've all had practice doing that, so does someone have something they'd like to ask Geraldine? Yes, we have a question from Orange, New South Wales. Wave, Geraldine.
They should be able to hear us.
Okay, so I have to.
Yep. Hopefully
Yep, we can hear you.
Geraldine,
we can hear you.
We can hear you. Oh, terrific. We can hear you. It's Fiona here from Orange, New South Wales. I've got a question to ask you. I mean, I found it really fascinating conversation this morning, and that we should nurture and support each other. I guess for me, going forward, and I hear it with other people too, how long do you think, and this is a really way out question there, how much longer do you think it will be before there's a concerted shift in the fact that women weren't put on earth just to stay at home and cook and feed the family, that they are capable of getting out there, and we're seeing a shift over time. But how much longer do you think it will be before there is a significant shift in the importance of women in the future?
Look, how much longer do I think? Well, I suppose I think it probably takes a couple of generations to actually bed a real big shift down, such as is involved with changing those community views about, like, women's voices, for instance. The fact that women actually bring some different emphases. Now, they don't all, of course. That's what we've got to say. We might have our very different, we're all individuals, but I think that this emphasis on nurturing, which was all on Q&A last night, I don't know whether some of you saw it, that very much that sense that women will just subtly bring a different set of priorities, and their line in the sand is often different to a competitive male's line in the sand. And I mean, dare I say, because I think I hear a younger voice there, I think I've seen a tremendous shift in my working life, but there still isn't necessarily the critical mass of women in workplaces that, like Gloria Steinem said to me years ago in an interview in 1978, until we get a critical mass of numbers in workplaces, things won't change, because those women are out there on their own, often quite lonely, and often feeling like they're not making any progress. So that sense that you're making progress, or that you've got people of just a little bit of sympathy around you, is terribly important. I mean, I sense that we're on the way of we're in the midst of a big change, but it might take another generation.